Mr. Dalton,
Here.
Mr. Oakes,
Here.
Ms. Henderson,
Here.
and Mr. Webb.
Here.
Thank you. Let us all rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's my copy. I'm gonna look at it all you want to. I'm just gonna pay over.
All right, item number 5 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Meese. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. You may now cast your votes.
Say yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We now move to item number 6, chairman nomination and election. Please note that each nomination will require a second, and if there are more than one nomination, each nomination will be voted on in the order that the nominations are made. I will now open the floor for nominations for chairman of the Pittsylvania County Planning Commission for a term of 1 year.
I'll make a motion to nominate Mr. Webb for chairman of this board.
All right, thank you, sir. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Oakes. Are there any other nominations for chairman? All right, hearing none, please cast your votes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, thank you, Ms. Clerk. And I guess, looks like we might be having some technical difficulty tonight, but that's very glad to hear. Mr. Webb, congratulations on being re-elected chairman. I now turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. And we move to item number 7, nominations for vice chairman, and then election. So the floor is open to a motion.
Make a motion for Ms. Henderson to be co-chairman.
I second.
Are there any other motions? Hearing none, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0.
All right, moving to item 8, 2026 meeting schedule adoption. Chair is open for a motion to accept or to approve meeting dates for 2026.
I make a motion that the meeting schedule be approved as is.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. Please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0. Brent?
Moving to item 9, approval of, okay. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Chair is open for a motion on the approval of the minutes. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Meese. Any discussion on last month's meeting minutes? Seeing none, please cast your vote.
All right. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Item number 10, I do not have anything with the chairman's report this month, so we'll move to item 11, hearing of the citizens. Did anyone sign up for the hearing of the citizens?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Each person addressing the board under hearing of the citizens shall be a resident or landowner of the county or the registered agent of such resident or landowner. Each person shall step up, give his/her name and district in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless further time is granted by the chairman, shall limit his/her address to 3 minutes. No person shall be permitted to address the board more than once during the hearing of citizens. All remarks shall be addressed to the board as a body and not to any individual member thereof. Hearing of the citizens shall last for a maximum of 45 minutes. Any individual that has signed up to speak during said section who does not get the opportunity to do so because of the aforementioned time limit shall be given speaking priority at the next board meeting. Absent chairman's approval, no person shall be able to speak who has not signed up. Who's the first to speak?
Maureen Wood.
Good evening. I'm Maureen Wood. I live in the Tunstall District. Earlier this year, a fire occurred at a residence on my street. It's 73 Hunters Ridge in Danville. The fire was a significant fire. It was so significant they took the electrical meter out, the fire chief did. Recently, it was purchased by an investor. They proceeded to remodel this home without a building permit. Starting in September, I called the community development, and since then, on at least 7 occasions, asking about a building permit, and they said it didn't have one. I said, well, then I need somebody to follow up on this because they're renovating this house that had a major fire without any inspections or anything. And it wasn't until December 16th that they finally went out and took a look at this property. the reason I'm concerned, it's going up for sale from an investor that I'm sure they're not going to disclose there was a fire there, and you're going to put a new family in that house without having the inspections. Well, they did do the inspections, a bunch of stuff failed, but I'm under the impression that they're not making them take the drywall down to see where the fire damage was, the major fire damage was, to see if the electrical and stuff was done correctly. And it's not fair to people that are going to buy that house. It's not fair to the residents that live in that neighborhood, that the fire could maybe spread. So I'm asking you guys to look into that and make sure that the proper inspections are being done, especially with the electrical stuff. I also want to know, let me see, what is to be done about not getting a building permit and doing work on if you're going to find the owner of this property. It's an investor, and I can give you the name of the investor if you want. It's just, nothing that has happened with this house has been handled in the correct manner as far as I'm concerned, and I'm really upset about it. I've emailed your supervisors, never heard a word from anyone in the call, and I get the blow off on, calling, except on September 16th finally, 3 months after I started calling about this house. So I'm pretty upset about it, and I want to know why an electrical meter that was taken out by the fire marshal was put back in with no apparent inspections being done on that house. That's my major concern, how that happened. So I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on in your county, and I want these people to be responsible for the work they did and possibly be fined. You guys are losing out on money without getting building permits.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else?
No, sir.
We'll now move to item 12, public hearing. Pursuant to Article 5, Division 7 of the Pennsylvania County Zoning Ordinance, we, the Planning Commission, have been empowered to hear and decide specific applications in support of said ordinance and to make recommendations to the Board of Supervisors or the Board of Zoning Appeals. In accomplishing this important task, we are charged with promoting the health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of Pennsylvania County. We must ensure that all our decisions and recommendations be directed to these goals and that each be consistent with the environment, comprehensive plan, and in the best interest of Pennsylvania County, its citizens, and its posterity. Anyone here to speak to the board regarding zoning cases will be limited to 3 minutes. We will move to the first case, case R-26-001. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-001, Joel and Kathy Waddell have petitioned to rezone 14.3 acres located on State Road 57/Callens Road in the Callens-Gretna Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for agricultural/farming uses. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Mr. and Mrs. Waddell, I believe, are here to represent the petition.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. Is anything you would like to add, the Waddells, to what Mr. Arnold has said? Okay. Has anyone signed up to speak on this case?
No, sir.
Okay. At 7:16, the floor is open for a motion on case R-26-001.
Mr. Chairman, it's in my area. In case R-26-001, I recommend to the Board of Supervisors that this be approved as requested. I have had no opposition, no phone calls.
The floor has a first. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. Are there any additional questions, comments, or motions? Seeing and hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. Case R-26-002 is now up. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-002, Charles Womack has petitioned to rezone 2.02 acres located on State Road 706, Abbott Place in the Bannister Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for a dog kennel. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. Please note, kennels require a special use permit in the A1 zoning district as well as the rezoning. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Womack is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Womack, is there anything you would like to add? Okay. Is there anyone here to speak to this case?
Yes, sir. Miss Maureen Wood.
Ms. Wood? So you were not here to speak to this case? Okay. Is there anyone else that has signed up?
No, sir.
Which one is that, ma'am?
Yeah, one's R for rezoning and the other one is a special use permit.
Okay. And no one else has signed up?
No, sir.
Okay. Floor is now open for a motion on case R-26-002.
Mr. Chairman, in the case of R-26-002, I'd like to make a motion that we do recommend for approval to the BZA for a zoning approval or rezoning.
Is it rezoning only at this time? We have a first. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Meese, thank you. Are there any additional motions, comments, or questions? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. Floor is now open for case R-26-003. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-003, Larry Burnett has petitioned to rezone 3 parcels totaling 402.12 acres located on State Road 899, Cardwell Lane, and State Road 62, Milton Highway, in the Dan River Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for agricultural uses, grazing land, and cattle. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Burnett is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Burnett, is there anything you would like to add to what Mr. Arnold has said?
I thought he was in attendance, but he may not be. But if y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer them on this.
All right, I did not. Does anyone else have a question for Mr. Arnold? Is anyone signed up to speak on this case?
No, sir.
All right. Floor is now open for a motion on case R-26-003. Mr. Bartz.
As far as putting in the motion?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay, as far as requesting to rezone 402.12 acres from R1 to residential suburban subdivision district to A1 agricultural for the property currently zoned R1, contingent upon rezoning approval to A1, the owner applicant intends to use the property for agricultural grazing land with the cattle. I would approve that.
All right, we have a first. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Oakes. Are there any additional motions, questions, or comments? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on to case R-26-004. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-004, Kay Geyer has petitioned to rezone 7.688 acres located on U.S. Highway 29 in the Chatham Blair's election district from B2 Business District General and R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the subject parcels to be consolidated with an adjacent A1 parcel. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, I believe Ms. Geyer's sister is here to represent the petition tonight.
Is there anything you would like to add to what Mr. Arnold has said? Please speak to, state your name for the record.
I'm Kendall Shelton. I'm in place of Kay Geyer's sister Lynn here. She plans to run pigs and cattle across the land once rezoned to A1.
Okay, are there any questions? Thank you. Is anyone signed up to speak on this case?
No, sir.
Public hearing is closed. Let's move to requesting a motion on case R-26-004.
Mr. Chairman, on case R-26-004, I move that we recommend approval of the rezoning from B2 Business District General and R1 Residential Suburban to A1 Agricultural District for this parcel.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. There is a first. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. Are there any additional motions, questions, or comments? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion carries 7-0. Now moving to case R-26-005. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-005, Brian Poteet, on behalf of Cynthia Lathe, has petitioned to rezone 2.79 acres located on State Road 862 Oak Hill Road in the Tunstall Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for a manufactured home. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Brian Poteet is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Poteet, is there anything you would like to add? Are there any questions for Mr. Poteet? Has anyone signed up on this case?
No, sir.
All right. Floor is now open for a motion on case R-26-005.
Mr. Chairman, in case R-26-005, I recommend that we change the zoning from R1 to A1.
All right, we have a first. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. Are there any additional motions, comments, or questions? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. Floor is now open for case R-26-006. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-006, James and Lisa Austin have petitioned to rezone 0.002 acres located on State Road 1539 Ashworth Lane in the Westover Election District from RC1 Residential Combined Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the property to be consolidated with and transferred to an adjacent parcel/property owner. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Joseph Fish, who is special power of attorney, rights on this case, is here to represent the petition.
All right, is there anything you'd like to add? Okay. Does anyone here on the board have any questions? It's a shame you have to do it for 87 square feet.
And you may recall an earlier case, was it last month, that the other, there was also a little bit larger area, but this is all being done, I believe, to allow fencing to be at the edge of his property, and, just kind of cleans up that boundary a little bit, but, thank you.
And you said no one had signed up to speak to this, correct?
No,
Okay. The floor is open, or the chair is open for a motion on this.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of case R26-06 as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Are there any other motions, questions, or comments? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. We will now move to case R-26-007. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-26-007, Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors has petitioned to rezone a total of 224.24 acres located on or near U.S. Highway 29, Main Street, and Pocket Road in the Stanton River Election District from R1, which the portion that's R1 is 28.39 acres, residential suburban subdivision district, and A1, which that portion is 195.85 acres in the agricultural district, to M2, industrial district, heavy industry, to allow the properties to be used for advanced manufacturing. Once the property is rezoned to M2, all uses listed under section 35-402 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, the county's Economic Development Director, Mr. Matt Rowe, is here to represent the petition on behalf of the Board of Supervisors.
Mr. Rowe.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Planning Commission members. I've been asked by the board to be the face of this petition. And so again, the property itself obviously is comprised of the old Burlington Mills, Klopman Mills facility. And so there's a lot of players involved with that being the Stanton River Regional Industrial Facility Authority. It's comprised of Pennsylvania County, the city of Danville, and the town of Hurt. And again, the city and the county, as far as the town of Hurt, obviously.
Excuse me, Mr. Rowe, would you mind raising that microphone?
I'm so tall.
You are.
Sorry.
You can hold it if you need to. Yeah.
No worries. So again, at the end of the day, those member locales are supportive of this particular request. What you see is that when you're looking at the map of this contiguous acreage, you actually have spot zoning within the heavy industrial, where you have some A1 zone parcels in addition to R1 parcels. And so again, the thought process from that authority that has been requested to the Board of Supervisors for this initiation is to pretty much make that all one contiguous large single zoned area for advanced manufacturing. I would say that obviously the authority has been working with the impacted property owners. When I say impacted property owners, the actual properties that are being petitioned for the rezoning. And so again, they are in support of that. Again, based upon the comprehensive plan that you have today, again, that area up there in Hurt historically has been a large employment center. I think at the height of Burlington Mills, they employed over 1,300 folks. And as we all know, a lot of generations, lived and relied upon that particular asset. So again, it is supported by the comp plan. I have seen and I have gotten several calls, and again, just kind of being the face of this for the board regarding, is this a power plant? Is this a data center? And I can go certainly on the record and tell you that from what has been stated directly to staff from the authority and from the Board of Supervisors, there is no interest to locate a data center or a power plant on the site. Not only is there no interest, again, people that know me know I'm always in the weeds looking at the infrastructure side of things. At the end of the day, there's not enough gas on the site to generate power through a power plant. And the other component is that you don't have enough electrical infrastructure to justify a large data center asset. So not only is the board not interested in that, but the actual infrastructure itself just doesn't support it. So it's just not feasible on the site. The other thing I would just say is, again, one of the things you guys typically, certainly review is this a spot zoning? Is this a unique case? Is it adjacent to similar zone properties? And as you can see from the mapping, I think that's in your packet, all of these properties touch heavy industrial zone property, either in the town of Hurt as far as their town zoning designation, or outside in the county. And again, I know that there had been, I think, some rumors about, development of the property being imminent or anything like that based upon the timbering of the property. All of these properties are currently in active silvicultural use. So again, this is nothing to do with the county, nothing to do with the authority with regards to the timbering that is visible on the site. If you have any specific questions, I can do my best to answer them given the conditions, but really from the board and from the authority's standpoint, this is kind of a speculative process of trying to prepare the property just based upon the types of inquiries that we've received from large advanced manufacturers.
Any questions for Mr. Rowe?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a couple of questions. So I've checked my email, and I've had actually 2 calls in reference to this. Had one call in support and one call that really isn't for it. And the reason behind it, and I guess the question is the environmental impact of that spot and actually that area there. The fellow that called me is a resident and a business owner. So could you address that as far as the site itself and any potential tenant that may come, what would be done for us looking into the environmental impact of that?
Certainly, it's a good question. And so what I would say is I would even take one step back. And again, we want to be totally transparent. Obviously, the previous site, it was a brownfield site, right? I mean, it was a textile mill. And so if anyone in the town of Hurt wants a free Town of Hurt t-shirt, we have them in piles where they were dumped and buried. And so up to this point, the property owners have taken out about $2 million worth of t-shirts to our county landfill. So where I'm going with this is that the actual standard or status of the property, because again, any kind of large industry that comes in has to have a clean phase 1 environmental, right? In order to get financing or investment or just go through the process. We actually, before we even talk about another user coming into the property currently is in a better condition than it ever was in the past. So all of those regional or recognized environmental concerns that are typically found in a phase 1, they have to be addressed, and they are in the process of being addressed. Moving forward, that's a trick question. I mean, anybody that builds a house technically has a negative externality on the property. You're cutting down a tree, anything we do. But what I would say is that certainly when you're looking at the types of uses in advanced manufacturing, when you look up the definition of advanced manufacturing, right, it's CNC machining. It's electric and robotics, types of manufacturing. It's types of industries that obviously provide good, sustainable, long-term wages. That is really the focus of where the board is and with this property, just as they are with other industrial parks in the county. So, if we are to get to the fortunate portion here of where we're able to obviously, have a public announcement and get a tenant and everybody's feeling good about themselves and going down that path, they still have to obviously go through the state process of working with Virginia DEQ with regards to when it comes to storm water, when it comes to surface water delineation for state wetlands, I mean, you name it. They'll have to work with our local erosion sediment control team. The county does a great job with that for E&S. In addition to on the federal side, again, if they are impacting stream channels or whatever that may look like long-term in the future, right, you would have Army Corps of Engineers getting involved and going through that NEPA process. And then finally, if there were to be, some form of minor air emissions or anything like that, again, that would go through a state process with the Virginia DEQ. So where I'm going with this is that there's not a specified, identified user, that we're able to say, yep, this individual is, tonight, coming to this site. But again, all of those mechanisms are in place when it comes to environmental review. That's the best answer I can give you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions?
Mr. Chairman, the only question I've had is of concern of a data center, and I think you've resolved the anxieties here tonight, because most of us think that people were afraid that's what it would be. And I admire you for getting land in order, doing your homework. In case you do have a tenant that wants to come, you're ready as you can be. And I appreciate your hard work you've done to get it in place.
The credit goes, I think, to that, Regional Industrial Facility Authority. I know Mr. Dalton's on that. So again, we just take the lead from them.
And I'm glad to see something of interest coming to the northern county.
We're hopeful. Okay.
So that will be announced, is that what you said, once you have a tenant in place?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, if we're fortunate enough, obviously, to get a tenant in place, obviously, with the types of projects that the county and the authority are focusing on, that would obviously warrant some form of, I would imagine, a state announcement process.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, here's hope, wishing you the best of luck in that regard.
Well,
Yes.
We're taking a shot.
All right. I think we've got some folks signed up for this one.
We do. Jeff Love.
Jeff Love, Stanton River District. The proposed zoning change establishes some very dangerous precedents. The Board of Supervisors is requesting the zoning change instead of the property owners. Since the board makes the final decision, this is a way for the board to force a zoning change without any regard for citizen or property owner input. If this precedent is set, the board will be able to place any intrusive industry or business anywhere in the county. The board is hiding the potential business or industry that will use the site. Standard procedure involves the property owner disclosing the specific reason for the rezoning request in order for the Planning Commission to make an informed decision. Industrial District M2 Heavy Industry is the least restrictive zoning and allows any large-scale manufacturing or industrial facility to be built, including data centers. Buildings can be up to 120 feet tall, with no restrictions on the height of smokestacks or chimneys. It's a huge jump to go from the current residential and agricultural zoning to heavy industry. Per Matt Rowe, the intent is to rezone the entire area between the two Hurt exits and between 29 and Main Street, including over 1,000 acres. Be aware that there are residential properties, small businesses, schools, medical facilities, and Wayside Park in the immediate area. I lived in a suburban area that was within 5 miles of heavy industry, so I can speak from experience. Any potential heavy industry will only agree to locate to an area if they receive large tax breaks and greatly reduced utility fees and other fees. Potential employment numbers will be greatly inflated. The stated rezoning purpose is for advanced manufacturing, which utilizes robotics and AI to reduce and/or eliminate the need for employees. Heavy industry creates water pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, and traffic. The pollution will have negative impacts on health, environment, property, farms, livestock, crops, wildlife, and quality of life. This includes increased risk of cancer and other major health issues. The pollution would impact a large area, especially Hurt, Alta Vista, Gretna, Chatham, and beyond. Water pollution includes contamination of wells and the Roanoke-Stanton River, which travels up 410 miles through southern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. Everything outdoors will be coated with and damaged by industrial pollutants. Forcing substantial zoning changes in the county before completing the comprehensive plan revision and before completing the zoning revision is completely unethical and is ill-conceived. The only entity that will benefit from this will be the heavy industry business. This will not increase employment opportunities, it will not increase county or town revenue, and our rural way of life will be destroyed. Thank you.
Tracy Love.
Tracy Love from the Stanton River District. And after hearing the presentation, I'm completely changing my presentation. Basically, I feel we are putting the cart before the horse. This is a printout of the heavy industrial zoning, the M2 zoning that is in our zoning that we have in our county. In the permitted uses for in M2, there is a list that starts here, goes the entire second page, and down through here. These things can be anything from manufacturing to healthcare, to childcare, to billboards, concrete mixing, feedlots, nurseries, some really cool things. Having a nursery, a big plant nursery, I'd be all for that. That'd be great for our environment. That would actually not be A1 driven and not robotics. I'd be all for that. But it also includes things like rendering plants. I don't know if you know what a rendering plant is, but it's basically disposal of animal carcasses and rotting bulk food products and oil from restaurants. If you've been near one, it has a smell that cannot be described. It's horrible. It reeks. If you've ever driven past one, you will never forget it. I have. I lived in a rural county. I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish country. We spent our days growing up living outside, playing outside. My grandfather worked in hosiery. That was manufacturing. That manufacturing was entirely different from what manufacturing is today. Yes, that employed a lot of people. They had people who actually sat at every single sewing machine, sewing each sock. And he and a couple other men kept all those machines going. They packed up all those socks and they were sent out all over the country. That was hands-on American manufacturing. That's not the way it's done now. Now you have robotic chains of events. We lived in York County, the Harley-Davidson final assembly plant. You had a couple people overseeing the assembly line, putting these Harley-Davidson motorcycles together. There were less hands that touched one Harley-Davidson in that plant than touched one pair of socks in my grandfather's hosiery plant. And when we lived in York, I couldn't keep after the grunge that was on our furniture outside. There was you think the pollen's bad around here? You talk about the pollinating in the spring? That ain't nothing. You would pray to go back to the good old days of pollinating compared to the gray dust that settles when you live in an area of industry from the soot of the plants. I know that my health has gotten 100% better since we moved out of the industrial area and moved down here. So has my husband, so has my mother. I hate to lose that. Thank you.
Carl Clay. Katie Whitehead.
My name is Katie Whitehead. I live in Tight Squeeze in the Chatham Blairs district. I am a member of, and I'm a member of the Coalition for the Protection of Pittsylvania County. I am representing the group this evening, so I'm anticipating having as much as 10 minutes. Okay. I'm speaking in the absence of those who usually speak for the group, who have work and family commitments this evening. I can assure you that they and others involved in the coalition and those who follow the coalition on Facebook are paying attention. I've had to remind myself that this is a public hearing before the Planning Commission, not the Board of Supervisors, and that the topic is rezoning proposed for the area surrounding the industrial site at Hurt, not the mega site. During the past 3 weeks, in the thick of the holiday season, the county has issued a confusing number of public notices and announcements, not just for this hearing, but also the one follow-up hearing on the Hurt rezoning before the supervisors at their regular meeting on January 20th, which is a month earlier than usual. In addition, there was an announcement for the Board of Supervisors special called session on December 30th, where they adopted 3 resolutions to initiate the Hurt rezoning and rezoning of the Southern Virginia megasite at Berry Hill as its own special zoning district. And of course, there has been public notice of your joint public hearing and meeting with the supervisors on January 15th regarding the megasite rezoning. It's easy to get confused. I am concerned about all of these changes being fast-tracked ahead of and outside the comprehensive plan overhaul process. A year ago, a draft update of the county's zoning ordinance was scheduled for a vote by our supervisors after 3 years of work by the previous board and consultants and county staff. The board voted to delay that vote until August, by which time the board had decided to delay updating the zoning ordinance until after the comprehensive plan was overhauled. There was a lot of talk and general consensus that the comprehensive plan needed to be updated. That process has reportedly started, though as of yet there have been no public meetings and the Citizen Steering Committee has yet to be appointed. Some supervisors have stated that we need an updated comprehensive plan in order to avoid repeating the divisive controversy the county experienced over Valleco's rezoning proposal. The current rezoning applications may be different than Valleco's in that the rezoning complies with the existing comprehensive plan. However, the current cases like Valleco's do lack transparency. I am relatively informed regarding these rezoning cases, but I'm still poorly informed. I am concerned about the near impossibility of informed, meaningful public participation in the review process for these cases. It is tempting to read between the lines, and I'm sure many people do, at the risk of being either naively trusting or cynically paranoid. People have guessed, rightly or wrongly, without the benefit of Matt Rowe's explanation this evening, that the rezoning is for data centers at either or both locations, or a government project being rushed by the state at Hurt, or a gas power plant at Berry Hill. Supervisors seem to think we should blindly trust them, but that's not how democracy is supposed to work. I have to wonder if you, as members of the Planning Commission, are any better informed than the rest of us who are not privy to the closed discussions of economic development by the two industrial authorities, the Danville Pennsylvania Regional Industrial Facility Authority, or REFA, that oversees the Cyber Park and the Southern Virginia megasite at Berry Hill, and the Stanton River Regional Industrial Facility Authority, or Stanton River RIFA, that oversees the Southern Virginia Multimodal Park at Hurt, or the Pennsylvania County Industrial Development Authority, or IDA, that works with staff to promote industry and trade. In the Hurt rezoning case before the commission this evening, and the upcoming megasite rezoning case, residents who have been invited to comment at this hearing and at the hearing on the 15th are not supposed to know what our supervisors have in mind in any specific way. We have been refused information about whether county leaders have a particular company or companies or specific type of industry in mind. How we are supposed to comment, how are we, and how are you supposed to vote on whether to recommend approval of a rezoning application if all you know for sure is the long list of by right businesses that could conceivably be developed on these sites. Each of you was nominated by your supervisor and approved by the board as a whole. Are you going to do anything but rubber stamp a request for rezoning initiated by and sure to be approved by the Board of Supervisors? Before you vote, I hope you will share your thinking with us. Let us know what gives you confidence in your decision. Thank you.
Travis Lanier.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Travis Lanier. I'm from the Hurt community. Me and my wife and our two kids recently moved into, well, I moved like here. She's been here all her life. We just recently bought a home a year ago to literally to the exact date. And now we're finding out that the board wants to rezone this into an M2, heavy industrial. Like, I have two kids that are autistic, have ADHD, and they like to play outside. If that happens, like, no matter what the building is, if it comes with like pollution, it can come with pollution. It can definitely raise up rent, mortgages, and stuff like that. Usually, with a big impact, whether it be good or bad, it comes with other impacts. It's a domino effect. And before you get to our house, it's a community between somebody as young as me to up to that could be somebody's grandpa in that community. And we all know as you get older and stuff like that, life gets harder, and they say you get cancer from everything. So you don't need to add to it with whatever that they have planned. Also, like one of the people that's connected to me, his name is Larry Roach. He has property on both sides of 29. That one of it's on the east side going up toward Lynchburg. That's where they did the big destruction of the trees where they want to zone it. But also there's a sign on the other side that said it want to be rezoned. And he has a little piece before you get to our house, then he has another piece on the back end. And Mr. Roach, I guess he knows Mr. Matt Rowe, and I saw him in communication, but nothing's in writing. He's saying it's on the east side, but there's still a sign that's saying rezoning. So it's still got me and my family, not only my family, but the whole community, like babbled because we don't know what's going on. We don't know what the plans are. I'm asking you not only as a American citizen, but the flag that y'all salute. I was in the military 8 years. I still work for the community. I work down the road at Green Rock. Me, not only as a patriot, I'm asking y'all to really think about what you're agreeing or disagreeing on with this decision, because a lot of lives are in effect. Thank you.
That is all that signed up to speak, Mr. Chairman.
Is there anyone else here that would like to speak to this case? Come forward, state your name, district.
Amanda Walker, Stanton River District. I live on Pocket Road. The gentleman in the blue suit, I believe he knows exactly what is going to go there. And I think you also should be asking more questions and learning what is an industrial advanced manufacturing. I was told by one of the landowners, there's only 5 of them, the town of Hurt, Mr. Gibson, the Robertsons, Hurt Partners LLC, and then Axmed. They had a meeting with the town of Hurt. It's all about the water. They asked them to hold the land till March so they could get a decision. They said no. They threw a bunch of money at them that they can keep if this doesn't go through. These people don't care what's going to impact us environmentally. They're just going to get the cash. They've already destroyed the land. Every day, all the woods are gone.
Please speak to the mic, ma'am.
Thank you. All the woods are gone. So I see that you guys hardly ask a question. You've voted all along. You need to vote no on this. We need more time. This gentleman knows exactly what's going on in there. He said it's in the defense industry. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? State your name and district, sir.
My name's Albert Miles. I live in the Stanton River District. I've heard all the comments. The bottom line in this, the county needs economic development. The county needs jobs. I remember when Klopman Mills was full operation, employed 1,300 people. I worked there in 1972 to 1975 when I quit and went and spent 20 years in the Army. The county needs the jobs, they need the tax base, regardless of what industry comes to there. It's a good area, and it's pretty much in a remote area, because I checked it out a week or so ago. You know, it's not like, you know, I hate to bring it up, but the data center down Chalk Level Road, you know, that was inside of a house. But you can put an industry on this land and hurt, and, you know, I don't think it'd be in sight of anybody's house. Now, I could be wrong, but, you know, it can be in a remote location on the area that if it's rezoned. And, I mean, just the site advantages from this area, you got the river running right down through there, and I don't know about power and natural gas and all that good stuff, but this is an ideal site for industry to bring jobs back to the county. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? I think I saw a hand over here. Come forward, ma'am. Wait till you get to the mic. Turn it down a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Sherry Johnson, and I take care of the property for my grandfather, Reuben Graves, and his land is adjacent to the land that they are trying to rezone. My question is, what does the rezoning do to our property? As of right now, they have taken all the woods down. Only woods that's standing in that area is my grandfather's land. So the road that was to get to our land, we could get to it before they start cutting down all the trees. Now we can't even get to our property because they have rerouted the road. And then if you go in off of Parnell Lane, you can only go in so far because they got an embankment there. Then if you go in off of 29 south north, you can only go in so far because they got an embankment there. So we have no access to our land. So my question is, if they do rezone this district, what does that mean for our property? Because we got a family cemetery on that land also. So that's my question is, if you do allow them to do this, then what does that do to our property as far as us accessing it, getting to our family cemetery? So that's my question is, and I think y'all should rethink rezoning this. You know, just not thinking about the money process. Think about the neighbors there too. My daughter lived in she lived right above Wayside Park. So I'm just saying, like everybody else says, think of other people before you make a decision. Just think of the other people. And I would like to know who do I need to talk to find out how do I keep access to our grandfather's property? Because right now we can't access it. We went up there last week, we had to walk in. And then when we got to going down it's a gravel road over there, you can't even go down there because they got a big embankment right there. We can't even travel that road. Even if we wanted to ride in down a truck, we cannot get in there. We tried from Pioneer Lane and we was blocked. Then we went in off 29 and we was blocked again, so we had to walk in. So I would like to know what's going to happen and how do we remain access to our property and our family cemetery. Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
My name is Kathy Grant, and I'm from the Stanton River District. I live just a few miles from where this land will be rezoned, and it is up above Wayside Park, and I know that no matter what anybody tries to come in here and tell us, it's going to negatively affect Wayside Park. There's a playground there. There's a stream there. There are hiking trails there. And I can tell you right now, I don't want it. Because I know it's all about money. And the people with the money, they don't care about our children, our grandchildren, or the future. All they care about is now and how much money they're going to get in their hands. So I'm saying no. Please, please say no. That's all I got to say.
Anyone else? Mr. Rowe, is there anything you'd like to add after the comments? Okay. Does any of the fellow commissioners have questions?
I'd like to say something. I'd like to kind of point out, and I hope I'm not out of order to make this mention, our county has been through a lot, and I'm not here to reprimand anyone, but we have to keep a certain level of decorum, and hurling attacks, especially unfounded, this is not the place for that. This is a community meeting, and we are a very kind board, so to speak. We keep things mellow and cool, and we have rules that we follow. And I would just like to hope that going forward, we can all agree to that. We're all adults here. And to make accusations, that's not acceptable. So I did want to make mention of that.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson.
Thank
you. Anyone else?
I would like to make a comment. We have to trust our Board of Supervisors to bring the kind of industry in where will not be detrimental to our communities. And they do take this serious, and the northern end of the county's been neglected for a long time, and I trust that they will make the decisions that is best for the county.
Thank you, Mr. Oakes. Is there anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me,
Yes,
Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a comment to that.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes, thank everybody for coming out. And I am on the Board of Supervisors, and I do take everything, all these comments to heart, and I'm really concerned about it. But also, like Mr. Oakes said, I'm not, and I don't think there's no other board members that's going to make a decision to affect people's lives that, of any kind of way. Anything we do, we're going to do it like it should be done to protect the landowners and the people around it. I've been on the board 4 years, and I'm in the Cowlins-Gretna district, but that is one thing I have got beat up on. Nobody wants to bring anything to the northern end of the county. Y'all forget about us. You send everything to Danville or the southern end. Well, to get this land rezoned, this may be an opportunity to get a good business here to support the northern end. Like I said, Klopman was there for I don't know how many years. They've employed a lot of people. And I mean, just anytime people says, why don't y'all do something for the northern end? Well, we have this opportunity, hopefully, to be able to do a good thing for the northern end and give our children a future place to come back to work. If they leave, at least they can come back home and have somewhere. Again, I'm not going to vote for anything that's going to affect anybody's lives or affect the streams or anything. As Mr. Rowe made a comment earlier tonight, probably Klopman Mills at the time done more harm to the area than any industry around here. I mean, they run a dye house, they had chemicals, they had their own wastewater. I mean, they had plenty of water rights coming out of Stanton River. Probably more than the town of Hurd or Alavista's got, if the truth's known. So, they run a business, and far as I know, it didn't affect the neighborhoods. I don't know what we're gonna do. If something good comes, I hope it does, to support the northern end of our county. I mean, I don't know. If I was still working, I wouldn't want to drive to Lynchburg or to North Carolina to get a job. I would like to have a job in Pennsylvania County. And this gives an opportunity if we get something in here. So, yes, I would like to see it rezoned, so if something does come, we ready for it. You know, everybody tells me, y'all have an industrial park, get the infrastructure in place, so we got a place for a business. A business ain't gonna come if you're not ready for them. They're gonna go on down to the next state or wherever and just gonna bypass Pennsylvania County. So I hate to see that opportunity if we have that. If we sit here and turn our heads because we don't want an industry to come, I don't think we're really doing what's right for the other citizens. But I do hear the people that concerns too. I do. And again, I'm not going to vote for anything to harm anybody, any stream, any animal, or any person. But I don't think there's no other board members who would support that also. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, I think we all agree, in order to have progress, we have to change. Nobody likes change. Nobody wants it in your back door. But we want a better future for our children and our grandchildren. Mr. Oakes mentioned something about, and all of you, not all of you, but some of you said tonight, it's all about the money. How many of y'all have seen that advertisement? I think it's an attorney in Roanoke. And she starts out, it's all about the money. And then what does she say? Yes, it is all about the money. Now, I'm not saying it's all about the money here, but we all know if we have money for our communities, what can we have? What does that bring? It brings better schools. It brings better protection for our communities, deputies. It brings better health security, rescue squads. Yes, nobody wants to make a change, but in order to have progress, we have to change. I think what Mr. Dalton said tonight speaks volumes. We have to be ready when an opportunity comes. And I hope an opportunity does come. And the board and all that have been involved in trying to get this location, I think it was brought out tonight. Very few people will live around this. The housing. But thank y'all all for coming out. That's why we're in the great America, that we can express our differences. And that's what we're here for. And if someone does come, a tenant, I'm sure we'll have public hearing, and you can vent for that as well. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Meese. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Mr. Ferris.
Thank everyone for coming. Appreciate you coming out. I hear your concerns, and if I may share, I have grandchildren that go to school. I have some to go to Faith Christian Academy. I have some to go to Hurt Elementary. Of course, I got some to go to Groton. We used that park down there in Hurt. And before that park got renovated, back when I was a kid, we used that park. In fact, that was our field trip from Manor Elementary School. We'd go over there and eat lunch, so forth, so on, and we thought that was the biggest thing since sliced bread. On the flip side of that, I was raised pretty much by my grandparents. Now, my grandfather raised tobacco. It wasn't a big farm. And I remember getting out in the fields, little, and tobacco farmers, you know what I'm talking about, the little pig, and they miss a plant when they're planting, you put that pig in there, you put the plant in there, and then as the crop grows, of course, you get the tops, and back then, you put offsuit tea on the stalk, and that stuff ran down my arm. It may affect me eventually, I don't know, that wasn't no good stuff. But with that, to the point of Clopper Mills, my grandmother worked second shift there to make ends meet. You know, with that said, I am concerned because of my grandchildren. But the flip side of it is, too, is I like for them to have a place to work in the county. As long as if this site is developed. And we do have the environmental study that is going to protect my grandchildren, our citizens, their children, and grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Anyone else? Let me just say that, again, I appreciate everyone coming out. I hear you. I also know that when you look at demographics for the county over the past decades and the decline in population, the decline in opportunities, we do need to be prepared and find a way to keep young people here, middle-aged people here, and even draw new people here. We do have to trust at times our elected officials to look out after what's best for Pennsylvania County and the type of company they bring here, and hope that they are a good corporate citizen and will look after not only their neighbors, but the county and the state. So I understand your concerns, but we as a county have got to do a few things differently going forward, or else we're all going to pay more down the road when we continually to lose population. Anyone else? Public hearing is closed. Floor is open for a motion on case R-26-007. Mr. Ferris.
Mr. Chairman, in case R-26-07, I make a motion that we submit this, recommend this as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Meese. Are there any additional motions, comments, or questions? Seeing and hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. Let's take a 5-minute break before we move to this first special use case. I appreciate it.
Well, thank
I got to
you.
work on it.
I'm glad to be back. It did, yeah, I feel good, I felt good. Okay, back. Get over this shake.
All right, let's move to item H. Floor is now open for case S-26-001. Mr. Arnold.
Case S-26-001, Beth Ann James has petitioned for a special use permit on 18.51 acres located on State Road 882 West Sunrise Drive in the Tunstall Election District to allow for a micro-resort and retreat center. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Beth Ann James is here to represent the petition. I would also like to add that at each of your seats on the dais, there is an updated site plan in hard copy, this large plot right here. So this is updated as of today and therefore was not available when the agenda packet was published last Tuesday. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. James.
Good evening. To our family, this project is, my name is Beth Ann James, and I am one of the partners in this project and sort of the primary lead. To our family, this project is far more than a business venture. It's a living love letter. It's a love letter to our grandparents whose strength and vision allowed them to secure this land in 1889, just 24 years after the end of slavery. It's also a love letter to our children and our children's children, ensuring that they have a place of beauty, history, and belonging to call their own. Because we view this as a legacy for the next 135 years, we acknowledge that our site plan is a binding exhibit. We have enlisted highly reputable professionals to guide this project, from our land surveyor, land engineer, landscape architect, and our to-be-determined builder. We will ensure that every structure from the 1st to the 15th is plotted with the professional precision required to meet Section 35-138 and protect the land that we love. We want to be very clear. We desire to get along with our neighbors. We are members of this community ourselves, and we believe that the power of open dialogue exists. To that end, it was disheartening that despite our proactive outreach, including a personal letter to each mailbox in our neighborhood, no one attended our community meeting on August 30th. We remain committed to promoting civility and transparency, and we will want to assure that the board and our neighbors that our priority is a safe, peaceful environment where guests can enjoy the high-quality visit to our neighborhood. Echo Valley Micro Resort is a multi-generational project. As such, we are fully committed to obtaining every required local, state, and federal permit before a single shovel is put in the ground. We're not here for quick development to make money. We're here to implement a professional, phased resort that meets 21st century safety standards without compromising any of our ancestral roots. I appreciate your time. Is this a time for me to take questions?
Yes. Are there questions for Ms. James?
Yes, I have one. Are you familiar with the conditions brought forth by this staff?
I am.
Okay.
Are you okay with those?
I'm sorry?
I mean, they're fairly lengthy. Are you okay with all of the conditions?
Yes, and we've responded to those to assure that we intend to be in compliance. We agree. The one thing that we would request is that our operating hours on Friday and Saturday be extended to midnight instead of 10 o'clock 7 days a week. So that's the only thing that we would ask would be amended.
Any other questions?
I've just got one comment. That neighborhood down there is a good neighborhood. I've never heard anything from it. And they put these times in here to protect your neighbors, and I would really hate to see them lengthened. I know if there is a problem with noise or any other problem, they can pull a permit. And so I would hate to see any change in it.
I can appreciate that, and I want to say that I have two cousins here. We grew up in that neighborhood, and so most of the people who live in that neighborhood are our family. I think that maybe the event center, retreat center might give people an idea of what they think it is, but this is a nature-immersed retreat center where we hope to have people come and gather to do yoga and meditation. On a Friday or a Saturday, if we have an event that runs until 10 and then we need to clean up and we need to get people out of there, I don't want to be out of compliance if I'm there until 11 o'clock. I don't want to go until 2 o'clock in the morning. The other thing that I think that as we've been talking to staff, we want to be very clear that this is not an event center where we want to have rock and roll concerts. It would fly in the face of our vision. We want it to be a quiet, again, nature immersed, Zen space for people to come and digital detox and all of that. But I do want to, I'm not asking for 2 o'clock, I'm asking for 12 o'clock to make sure that we're able to get everybody out of there in a safe way and not be out of compliance or against the regulations.
But, if there was a concert or anything like that, ending at 10 o'clock, cleaning up is beyond that time. But it's the actual part that when you would have music or any kind of thing that would be something that the neighbors would be disturbed about.
Yeah. We also have on the new plan, you'll see that we have the setbacks listed around, so that diminishes the noise for the neighbors. I don't want to push the issue, but I do want to push the issue. We have put everything in place to try and make sure that it does stay quiet, that, we'll comply with the decibel requirement, that there's no stadium lights. This is not a concert hall. I feel very strongly about the request for midnight, and I will, of course, comply with whatever the board requires, but that would be my only requested amendment to the very extensive list of conditions.
Mr. Arnold.
Yes, sir.
The timeline to 10 o'clock, that is for the actual event to close and not disbursement and cleanup.
That's correct.
So, like, if it was music needs to stop at 10, and then the crowd leaves, and you still clean up regardless of how long that takes.
That's right. We understand that to support the operation, to support the facility, there will be activities out beyond the event, both before and after. So certainly, in Ms. James' example of staff needing to stay beyond 10 p.m. on a Friday or Saturday night.
She'd still be in compliance.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So even if the crowd is still there at 9:59 and the last drum beat is hit at 10, then the cars can disperse if it takes them a half hour or more to do it.
That's right. I think you would say that the official event is closing at 10 p.m.
Okay.
I mean, just from my perspective as the current zoning administrator, I don't see how it would be realistic or a reasonable expectation for something to abruptly cease right at 10 p.m.
All right. Does that allay any of your fears?
The cleanup is one example, but there may be some economic impact if someone wants to have an event there, a social gathering, and we may not be able to take advantage of that revenue if somebody wants something past 10 o'clock. If they rent from 7 o'clock in the evening, 7 to 10, So I think that midnight is reasonable, but again, I will comply.
Are there any other questions? Ms. James.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Just one comment. So if y'all extend it to 12, and it takes another 2 hours, and that pushes it on after 2 or 3 o'clock the next morning. So I don't know whether that would be an issue or not. I mean, if you quit at 10 and it takes you 2 hours to clean up, then you're done at 12, but if you keep extending it, when you gonna get done? I mean, that's just my thought, but I understand what the young lady's saying too. I think it's a good thing. I mean,
And
really.
again, I'm asking for Fridays and Saturdays only. These
Right.
are evenings where, I understand there's also a regulation for starting late on Sunday, in recognition of maybe church hours. I'm not asking for every day of the week, just, to my only request.
Okay. Is there anything else? No. Before we open the floor to, I think we have someone signed up for this one.
We do. Calvin Yarborough.
Yeah, hi, my name is Calvin Yarborough with the Township District. Mainly, I just want to say that I own a house less than a quarter of a mile from the facility, from the land. My mother lives in the house, and my brother and myself have purchased it from her. I come home quite frequently, so I still stay in the house when I'm here. I'm very comfortable with the project. I'm very intimately involved with what they're doing. I'm a part of the committee, so I'm very comfortable with what they're doing. I know the hearts of everybody involved, the fact that they want to be good neighbors, and that they're very open and want to make sure this thing works. The bottom line is, we want to do a business. We have the land. We want to do a business. We don't want to have what the argument or the issue that was that was online before we came up. We're not doing that. We could say, let's sell the land and let some other company come in, but this is a family-owned business. We want to make it work. We want to be good neighbors. So I want to say I'm all for it, and I'm in the neighborhood, and I know the heart of everybody that's involved, and they've been very open to what you guys are saying. And I'm also saying that if we have an opportunity you keep talking about crowds and events, but if we just have a family reunion, if we end at 10 o'clock, that's what I'm saying, it might take a couple hours to clean it up. So it's not going to be bands and concerts and all that like I think you guys are envisioning. So I just want to leave it with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Grant. Okay. Amanda Walker. Thank you. Okay. That is all I have.
That was it? All right. As far as the time of the project, as far as closing the events, I do see your point. I personally, Mr. Oakes, your motion to make, maybe at least on Friday evenings, extending it for an hour, maybe 2, probably not Saturday night, but that would be kind of my thoughts along those lines. But I'll support what you think is best.
Okay. Yeah, I think, if you're having a family reunion or something like that, nobody knows if it's extended. It's what we're trying to prevent, say if it was a music concert. And so, see, we don't know what's going to be 10 years from now. We know what you're going to do, but who takes it over after you? This special permit just runs on from now on. And so we're trying to look after the future as much as we are the neighbors now. And so it's basically where noise is involved. Well, it's, music is not noise, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Yes.
Yes.
I absolutely understand. And you make a very good point, that that's today and what the current partners have in play. And, 50 years from now, my great-grandchildren may want to have a rock concert. I understand the special use permit. I think that, this is our neighborhood. I would welcome the opportunity for you to hear from my cousin whose land abuts this property. And, I would be happy to compromise with the one day, maybe just Friday. But, this is a business and there's an economic proposition here. So, if somebody wants to have something until 12 o'clock that is aligned with our vision, and we have to close at 10, and then they go to someone's barn dominium and they get the revenue instead of it's a business. We got to make money. So, I'm willing to compromise. I'm asking that you perhaps hear from a true neighbor who lives there. And I'm, like I said, willing to compromise on maybe just Friday.
Okay.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes, sir.
A quick question regarding if we the county issues a special use permit, whether it's 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whatever it be, if she would want to request an additional hours at a later date, is that just a new special use permit? Or is she bound by what we do now?
It's my understanding it would be an amendment to the.
They would have to cycle back through here.
The special use permit application that's being considered today.
Right.
It'd be an amendment to that. Mr. Evans, is that your understanding as well?
That is my understanding, yes.
Again, I would invite you to hear from a neighbor who, his property abuts ours. So, if he's willing to speak.
State your name, sir.
Reginald Carter. As Beth Ann said, I live there. My farm is adjacent to hers down to the creek. But I don't think, in my opinion, 12 o'clock was unreasonable because it's already going on. We have individuals, a couple of individuals there, they have parties any time, and most of the time it passed 12 o'clock. I live right behind the church. And then, it's family, all us family, we family, and we don't have any, to my knowledge, any complaints about those individuals that are there right now. Well, doing, events, 4th of July, birthday parties, they have 4 or 5 a year. They're there till at least 12 or 1 o'clock. Every now and then, because of the multitude of people that be there. Sometimes the police will come and have to get them off the street, the cars off the street, and put them elsewhere. But other than that, there's never any problem there. So I don't see any reason why 12 o'clock should be an issue because it's going on anyway. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Shell.
I would recommend we split the baby and just do 11 o'clock, both Friday and Saturday night. I think that would align with most of the public events that take place in Danville and Pittsylvania County. I know we're in Pittsylvania County, but if you host an event in Danville, you have to be done, lights off, music off by 11 o'clock on Friday or Saturday night. I don't see why that, if you just gave that additional hour, 2 days, Friday, Saturday, you kind of split the baby and hit a sweet spot, in my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. Any other questions, comments? Is there anyone else here that would like to speak to this case? Mr. Oaks?
All right, Mr. Chairman, in case S-26-001, I recommend that we give a special use permit with the conditions brought forth by staff, with the change in time on Friday and Saturday nights to 11 o'clock, 11 p.m.
Is that problem? All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Meese. Are there any other motions, questions, or comments? Please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. Next case, S-26-002 is now open. Mr. Arnold.
Case S-26-002, Kimball and Stephanie Thaxton, in care of Moses Lawrence, III, have petitioned for a special use permit on 1.01 total acres located on State Road 1279, Meadowwood Court, in the Tunstall Election District to allow for a manufactured home. Staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Mr. and Mrs. Thaxton are here to represent the petition.
All right, is there anything you would like to add to what's been said? Okay, any questions? All right, discussion's closed.
Mr. Chairman.
What's that? Oh, I didn't see you, ma'am. Oh, well, come forward, give your name.
Sorry, I live right next door to the lot. Oh, gosh, now I just lost my place. Anyway, the only concern I have is in your special use section, it specifies, and it's written, single-wide manufactured / mobile home. And I don't want a single-wide on, I mean, it is all double wides in there. And I want to make sure that something specifies that it has to be either a manufactured home or a double wide. That's my only concern about this property here. So, that's it. Thank you.
And you're putting a double wide, okay. Well, I think your contract in your packet had a double wide listed, right? Is that correct, Mr. Arnold?
Let me look and see, Mr. Chairman.
I thought I saw that in the application. You're right, the residential contract. So the contract is to buy.
Mr. Chairman, I believe we'll need to
Yes.
use the mic and follow the public hearing procedure.
Good deal.
I'm not seeing anything in the agenda packet that explicitly states there will be a double wide manufactured home. So I would say one option here could be a recommendation of a condition, Mr. Evans, you could have a condition that would state that it would be a double-wide manufactured home, if that was the Planning Commission's pleasure.
Okay, Mr. Oakes, is that?
And you did state it was going to be a double wide. Okay.
So just add that when you make a motion.
I disagree with doing that.
Okay.
That language is going to prohibit, what is considered a double wide, that now you're getting into, these folks could violate that. What is legally a double wide? I think it needs to be approved as written. It's written well so that these folks will not violate it with some obscure interpretation of what is a double wide. That's my opinion on the matter.
And that's why we have an attorney on the board.
Come forward.
While he's walking up, I don't mean not to approve it. I would recommend us approve it as written. Yes, as it's written.
I would rephrase that. It's going to be either a double wide or a modular home. There's no single wide involved. Okay, thank you.
I have a question, and not to belabor the point. This isn't in my district, so I'm not too super familiar with it, but I have a concern with the zoning that is going to, I know it's special use, but that particular zoning, does it allow for single wide?
That's correct.
President?
It's-
Okay, so I'm opposed to any language that could prohibit a single wide. We never know what economic situations may happen or even future. So I would be averse to anything prohibiting a single wide. That's land rights to the individual.
Right. So right now, it would need to be in the R1 zoning district, it would need to be only allowed by right or basically stick-built single-family dwellings. And so by a special use permit, you can have a manufactured home, which a manufactured home, and we can look up the exact verbiage in the zoning ordinance, but that can be of a single-wide or a double-wide variety, or even a triple-wide variety. It's my understanding the definition of a modular, as the applicant just said, those are actually considered to be stick-built homes. They're just built off-site and then located there. So, but back to the original point here, as far as single-wide versus double-wide, the current verbiage in the zoning ordinance does not, both are considered fair game if a special use permit is approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals, in R1 zoning district.
Any other questions or comments? Mr. Oaks.
Mr. Chairman, in case S-26-002, I recommend we issue a special use permit for the placement of a manufactured home.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. Are there any other motions, comments, or questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. Next case, V-26-001. Mr. Arnold.
Case V-26-001, Brian and Robin Loeb have petitioned for a variance on State Road 703 Irish Road on a 3.2-acre piece of property located in the Callens-Gretna election district. The variance applies to section 35-74.2.d. Quote, no detached accessory building may be located in the front yard or a lot, and that pertains to residential districts only in section 35-74 of the Pittsylvania County zoning ordinance. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Brian and Robin Loeb are here to represent the petition.
The Loebs, anything you'd like to add to what was said? Is anyone signed up to speak on this case?
No, sir.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Floor is now open for a motion. Ms. Meese?
In case V-26-001, excuse me, I make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors that we honor this request.
I have a first. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Oaks, thank you. Any other motions, questions, or comments? Please cast your vote. Motion passes 7-0. Old business. I don't have any.
No, sir, nor do I.
All right, moving on to number 14, new business. I would remind my fellow commissioners about our meeting next Thursday evening. It is here in this chamber at 6 o'clock. I would encourage all of you to make every effort to be here. It's going to be an important meeting. Mr. Arnold sent out a packet of information to read through, and will keep us updated if anything changes. I also have, because I was neglectful last year and was right at the deadline, but by the end of the month, we have our disclosure of real estate holdings due by the end of January. So make sure you get that filed with Ms. McCluster. I've got a couple of copies here if you need one. So again, thank you for this evening and your vote of confidence in me. I'll work towards making this run smoother. Any other new business, Mr. Arnold?
No, sir.
Anyone else have anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I'd
Yes,
just
sir.
like to welcome our new member, Mr. Bartz.
Sure enough.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Congrats. Anything else? If not, we stand adjourned at 9:04.